Our next program is the California Golden Bears, led by head coach Mike Neu in his 8th season. Coach Neu is joined by sophomore second baseman Jared Advincula and sophomore shortstop PJ Moutsaritis. Cal went 36-19 last year and finished 5th in the Pac-12 conference. Coach Neu, if you want to start us off with an opening statement about your team in the fall leading up to 2025.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Thank you guys all for being here too. I think it's cool to see college baseball continue to grow, and it's pretty big to have everybody here. So excited to do this. I'll keep it short so we can have some questions. Obviously finished really strong last year. We were really excited about the way the team came together, the way we finished the year. 20-5, I think it was to finish, and we're just playing probably as well as we felt like anybody, and obviously didn't get a chance to go to the tournament, but definitely a lot of really positive things. And coming into this season, probably, I mean, it does start with these two guys that are with me here. Unbelievable freshmen, ultra exciting players, super hardworking guys, great teammates, and obviously first team, all Pac-12 guys, and well deserving. So I think it kind of starts with those guys coming back, and they're just fun to watch play every day. So I'm excited to see these guys make the transition to the ACC, which is probably the next biggest thing when we talk about some changes and some things to look forward for this year. I think that there's a lot of things to be excited about there. We returned some other guys that played really well for us with Seth Gwynn, Max Handren, Austin Turkington. We do have a lot of new guys. I think it's a very talented group overall. What we do lack is the experience, probably at this level. But for whatever we lack there, I think we'll continue to get better as the season goes on, and we will also hopefully make up for with our preparation and the things that we think are really important within our program. So I think we're excited, and we're excited to get playing. That's kind of where our mindset is right now. But overall, really good group of guys, and a really, hopefully take some momentum from last year moving into this season.
All right, we will open it up for questions for the California Golden Bears. We'll start with Jake Curtis. Go ahead, Jake.
Mike, how long did it take you to get over not making the NCAA tournament last year, or have you even?
I don't think I ever will. I mean, it's frustrating. You always think, some things are out of your control, so it's hard to get too upset about that. I think I probably think more about, what we could have done. If you think about, hey, maybe we win one more game, or, we have one more moment in the season that's a little bit different. I think those are the things that I probably think about more, that are frustrating, even though, if I look at it from a big picture, I definitely felt like we were deserving, and we should have done it. But I think from, the coaching perspective, and just, how we could win one more game, or maybe get to the finals of the Pac-12 tournament, which we were definitely in position to do, at one point of the game, or maybe it's, one more win earlier in the year. I mean, it literally crossed my mind at one point today. So I don't know that I'm over it, ever, but you always got to move forward. And there was some great moments. I mean, I was so proud of that group of guys and what they did, and they really owned it. I mean, it was their team, and they were playing with a ton of conviction and competitiveness. And it's nice as a coach. I think that's the best feeling ever, is when you don't feel like you have to do as much. You just let those guys go play, because they're prepared and they're playing together as a team. So that's the things, I think, the positive takeaways. But getting over it, that's really difficult. There's you want to get a chance to play for a national championship, and that's the goal from day one until the season ends. So we felt like, hey, if we got in there, we had a chance to do that, and we didn't get the opportunity.
On a little different subject, are you aware, have you determined how the revenue sharing direct payment to players, which is supposed to start this summer, is going to affect baseball?
No, and I don't know that anybody definitely does, until the House settlement, goes through in April, and everybody makes decisions individually as athletic departments. It's going to be, there's nothing finalized yet. Hopefully it'll be a positive thing for our program and for our school. But I think everybody's kind of working through the details with how that's going to work. So yeah, I mean, college baseball is on the rise, like we talked about before. It's a very, it's a sport that's been great, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. So hopefully that we benefit from some of these things, knowing obviously football and basketball are going to be prioritized, but I think baseball has been super popular, and there's been some exciting things going on in the game and within our program too. So hopefully we can take some of this opportunity and move forward with it and continue to grow.
Our next question will come from Joe Healy from D1 Baseball.
Hey, fellas, this is for PJ and Jaron. Given that you guys played just about every game next to each other up the middle last season, how long did it take for you to kind of develop that natural chemistry that double play partners end up getting throughout the season? When did that feel like it really clicked for you guys?
I think it really started in fall because we knew each other before. So I feel like we already had some chemistry going into fall. And then I feel like it really started to click at the end of fall going into season. So me and him up the middle felt really comfortable. I knew he was going to make his plays. I was going to make mine. So can't really have a better second baseman than him. So.
Yeah, vice versa with PJ. You can't have a better shortstop than PJ. And kind of during the fall, our connections that we made on and off the field really helped us. And I think that was really important for us to have the seasons that we had last year. So.
And then, Coach, what kind of security blanket does that provide for you and your staff to have these guys back with the experience they got last year? And then is there any sort of comp you would put on them as a double play tandem, whether it's somebody you've coached or observed or played with or what have you?
I don't know about the comp. I mean, I think it was a security blanket last year. It's like we went into the season, knowing like, hey, we got a ton of confidence in what these guys can do. Obviously being freshmen, it's new for them to play at this level, but I also knew they were they're great players. I mean, they're guys that, they want to win. They love the moment of it being big, and they're super talented dudes. So, I think, even going into last year, I felt like, man, this is going to be fun to see these guys just go, play defense. I didn't know offensively, that they would, translate quickly like they did. I was just looking forward to them playing great defense because that's something they've done so well probably their whole lives, but they obviously did it on the bases, defensively, offensively. So yeah, I would just say going into this year, I feel great about it. There's nothing that's changed other than they have another year of experience, and now they're leaders on our team, and they understand what it takes to go through a full season and play every game, and what the preparation looks like, and how they can lead by bringing guys with them now because they're in that role, which is great. And I know that they welcome that part of it. And yeah, comping them, that's a great. I don't know. Do you have anybody? They're really good. I mean, it's fun to watch. And any great infielders, I think it's one of those things. If you're a baseball guy, a great middle infield is like one of the coolest things ever. It's just fun to watch. There's an art to it. There's athleticism. That's like one of the best things about baseball is watching a great middle infield tandem do what they do. So it's no different here, and I feel super fortunate as a coach to be able to watch these guys every day.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Our next question will come from Steve Kroner.
Mike, how you doing?
Hey, Steve.
Hey, first question would be, what do you think is going to be the bigger challenge? The travel that you guys are going to have to deal with, or the depth and the level of talent that's in the ACC?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I think the travel is actually less than probably the conception of what we're doing. We go on 4 trips. We're going to go on 4 trips during the season. We're going to play more local the rest of the year. They're obviously longer trips, so we are going to have to plan, be prepared to play. We're leaving a day earlier, so I think we're going to be, fine as far as that goes. We actually do travel less this year, as far as total trips go compared to previous years, especially last year. So, I think we feel good about that. The level of play is outstanding. I mean, there's no question. We're going to have some really good teams come to Cal, and we're going to go to places. I think that to me is an opportunity. I mean, part of the reason that we, didn't get a chance to make the tournament was an RPI deal. That was probably the one thing that wasn't going our way, last year. And I don't think that'll be a problem this year, but, we are going to play a super high level of talent. I mean, the ACC has been amazing as far as, just the conference in general puts a huge emphasis on baseball, promoting the game, making sure that we're in position to be a great conference. And that support has been great. I mean, we've been welcomed in well, and I think we're excited to host some great teams and go to some great places, but it's a challenge. There's no doubt. And the pack was great too. I mean, we're going to miss it. It's bittersweet. I mean, that's the most historic, conference ever. And, we're moving on from that. I don't think it's anyone's first choice, but for us to land here, I mean, this opportunity is amazing, and to see what these teams are bringing and the rosters and the coaches. And I think we're going to have some games at Cal and weekend series at Cal that are going to be super well attended, and they should. You get to see these guys play and get to see some great teams come in here. I mean, it's going to be a really cool environment, and so it's an opportunity and a great chance for us to showcase our program and some of these great players that we've had.
And one, Mike, for you and for Jaron and PJ, look, I saw those guys play last year. I know how good they were. But the thought in many college sports is the biggest jump you make is from your freshman to your sophomore year in improving. So as good as those guys were, and you guys can talk about maybe each other, where can they get better?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of our mindset with our entire program, is we're every chunk, every day, we're trying to find a way to get better, whether it's on their own. We know we have our limits as far as what we can do for practice, but we are definitely going to, make sure that the message is, look, the best guys are the guys that are investing every day, and that's not going to come. There's no magic trick to getting better. It's the daily investment. It's making the right choices every day. And those guys do it, they do it. And I think they've made our team better. They've been program changers in the way, it's the guys that do the extra things here are doing it because that's what they think is normal. The guys that don't do it, it's like, man, why aren't you doing these things? And I think that's one of the reasons we were really good last year. And I think it's the reasons guys will continue to get better. I think these guys being comfortable and understanding the game more, knowing what it takes to be successful at a high level, they're going to get better in every phase, and I don't think there's one thing, that's glaring, where you're like, man, this guy's just horrible. I think it's just they're very good players in every phase of the game. Now they can get better in the mental side of it, understanding these situations they've been in before, preparing for theirs more, but that's definitely their responsibility. It's our responsibility to, help them, but it's their responsibility to take advantage of that and put in the time and make the right choices throughout the day. And they've been program changers with our guys being able to show what that looks like, and you see guys that come in here and it's just like, hey, this is just normal, man. We got to put in the work. We got to make the right choices every day. We have to get better, in different phases of the game on our own, not just as a team. What we do is not enough. And they've been like big proponents of that, in our program. So it's been really cool to see that. And anything they want to say, I mean, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, please.
No, I 100% agree with Mike. It's like believing but not being a believer. The coaches are going to guide us in what they tell us to do and how we could get better as a team. But if it doesn't come from the players themselves, then the team's not going to get any better. So I think just being able to control what we can control throughout the season, and a big part that me and Jaron are going to have to play going from freshman to sophomore year is definitely our leadership. Only being freshmen going into sophomore, knowing our role as a leader on the team is definitely going to play a big part.
Jaron?
Yeah, coming from our freshman year is kind of different going into leadership roles, but I think me and PJ are definitely prepared for what's coming for this season, and we push our team every day, and hopefully we got him into the right place and lead us into wins this upcoming season.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Steve.
10 more minutes left with the California Golden Bears. We'll go to a question from College Baseball Weekly, then Eric Sorensen, and then Brian Davis.
Coach, how you doing?
Hey.
Last time I talked to you at the Vegas Classic, it was a rough little stretch there after the Pittsburgh loss. But then I looked later in the week, you guys get a great win against Stanford in the midweek, and then you sweep UCLA. Coach, that mentality right there. And as you said in the beginning, how, you guys got on a roll there last year. That mentality, Coach, you got some tough games on the road in the ACC. that mentality, how important will that be when you got to go on the road and see a Duke and other teams like that?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. I mean, we talk about it all the time. If you think that, all the work you put in and everything you're doing, if you kind of stay in our world here and think that we're fine and that, there's going to be smooth sailing going on, you're only fooling yourself. You're setting yourself up for complete disaster. We're going to deal with adversity, probably the first pitch or the first inning of the first game we play. So, how you handle that adversity and how you prepare for that adversity, it's going to be the difference in your mindset, and how you get better, how you respond, because there's only so many things we can control in this game, and we know there's going to be a lot of tough things. It's a tough game. So, I think that was, one of the reasons that we were able to, have some success and turn things around. But any season, I don't care how good of a team you have, you can have the most talented, most veteran, best team in the country. And you're going to go through some streaks where things aren't going your way, or you're not playing well, or you have some tough things come up. So, no matter what team you are, if you're not prepared for that, you're not going to be able to accomplish your goals or put yourself in position to do that. So yeah, it's going to be extremely important. We play some great teams, and we play teams, multiple teams that were in Omaha last year. It's a great conference, top to bottom, well coached. I mean, yeah, we don't have, there's not a lot of margin for error to feel sorry for ourselves if things don't go well for a pitch or an inning or a game. We're going to have to strap it on, turn around, and go leave it on the field and find ways to get better and play one pitch at a time. And if we do that, we'll put ourselves in position to win a lot of times, especially as we get more experience.
All right, and real quick for PJ and Jaron, how excited are you guys to play in this ACC, go on the road to these beautiful college baseball environments? I know a lot of people think about the travel, but I was thinking about it. You're 3 hours behind, so you probably get back to the Bay Area in the afternoon in some of these road trips.
No, yeah, for sure. No, playing the ACC is definitely a big jump from Pac-12, but at the end of the day, we're just ready to play baseball. It's just baseball at the end of the day. Better competition, we're definitely really excited to play better competition, better ourselves. But we're just here to play ball. It doesn't matter what conference we're playing in.
Yeah, personally, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see the work that we put in shows up on spring, our first day on February 14th. So, lots to say about that, and we'll definitely make a claim hopefully this ACC season. So,
all right, Coach Neu, appreciate it, man. Fellas, best of luck and have a great year, man.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Eric Sorensen.
Hey, Coach Neu, good to see you again, man.
Hey, what's up, Eric?
Not a lot. I thought one of the more intriguing pieces to your team this year was getting David Shaw, the left-hand pitcher from Texas. And I know that he was a reliever for the most part there. And I just wondered what have you seen from him transitioning not only to come to Cal and play, but transitioning from being a bullpenner to I guess expected to be the Saturday starter.
Yeah, I mean, he has been awesome. It's like it's kind of like, one of the things that I love the most about our team is, Shaw has been, was at Rice, he was at Texas, and obviously had some coaching changes and some things like that. And, it was really interesting in his recruiting process because, he's like, man, I really want to, make this decision. It's kind of the last decision, on meeting the people and building those relationships and kind of getting to know some of the places I visit. And I don't even know all the places he visited, to be honest with you, but I know, he decided to come here because he felt like, hey, this is really where I want to be, based on the people here, the players here, the staff, the coaches. And like, to me as a head coach, I'm like, that's awesome. I mean, a guy who's been around and he's played at some really good schools, and, for him to say, like this is a place that I really loved, and I loved it because of the people and the players and what they bring. And then he's just like transitioned that into his work ethic, helping the younger guys, talking baseball. I mean, I've heard him walk by my office and he's like talking to some freshmen about, how he's attacking hitters or preparing. And I'm like, man, this guy is just like, one of the coolest dudes, around, and he works his butt off. And he's really good. I mean, he's thrown from a low arm angle, weird release height with some, really good movement metrics. And he's had a ton of success, when he's been healthy. He came back super early last year. So I don't think that was a great indication of who he is as a pitcher, because he came back so quick from a Tommy John surgery. But I mean, these guys know better because they're in the locker room with him every day. But, from what I've seen, he's just been, an all around, great guy, great competitor, great teammate. And it's just been really cool. I'm excited for him, to get back on the mound fully healthy and just be a huge part of this thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great point. I mean, he's a guy that's just like a unique situation in this new world that we're in. So maybe it's not as unique, but, I just was excited for our program for the reasons that he wanted to be here, and as advertised as a person. Just a great, great dude.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Eric.
Our next question will come from Brian Davis. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Coach Mike, PJ, and Jaron, how you guys doing?
Good. Hey, Professor B. What's going on?
What up, Professor B?
Hello. Uh-oh. Hey, first, I was just glad to enjoy welcome you guys. Welcome me into the Cal baseball family. I'm just excited. This is kind of been exciting. A lot of changes in recent years, but I'm glad to be a part of the Cal baseball family. But what's going to be like playing? Last year, I asked the question of what's going to be the final year at Pac-12, transitioning now being a Atlantic Coast Conference member. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said before, man, it's like bittersweet. I mean, I'm from the Bay Area. These guys are too. You grow up watching Pac-12, and obviously being at Cal, it's one of the staple parts of it. So, that was sad to see it go. But, like I said before, I mean, I don't think there's anything more exciting about playing the highest level competition on a weekly basis. If you're a competitor and you want to win and you want to be the best, then you want to play at the highest level against the best all the time. And we have an opportunity to do that. So we're excited for that.
Well, it goes back to your days at the University of Miami. I remember watching that College World Series highlight from 26 years ago when you won the College World Series and beat rival Florida State. And we're going to get a chance to see that team come up to Berkeley for the first time. And of course, both Cal and Stanford have had some historical landmark games against two of college's finest programs, both Florida State and the University of Miami. You being a University of Miami alum, of course. And by the way, thanks for that comp ticket for that Miami Cal game Saturday night back in October.
For sure.
Darren, I got and PJ, I've got one final question for you guys. You guys both played on the Cape this last summer. Jaron, you're the Cape lead batting champion over the summer. What did you kind of learn from that experience, and how do you think you grew over the summer in the Cape?
Yeah, I mean, definitely being on the team with the guys that big time winners on each team, going around like Brandon Compton, our freshman of the year, Arizona State. And then you have Max Ballou, who's player of the year in Big 12. And that was definitely a learning curve where I was like, I can learn from every guy on each team. And I feel like I learned everything, or I learned a lot of things every day. And that's kind of what built me up to kind of have the success that I had, because I learned from them and they learned from me. And so every day I was kind of putting in that work, and I never really took a day off. And so I feel like that was like the why I had success out there.
No, yeah, I wish I could have the experience that Jaron had, but I was only there for 2 to 3 weeks. But when I was there, it was some of the best baseball I've ever seen. The competition out there is not like anywhere else. But a place like it too, it's amazing to be out there. But my 2 to 3 weeks there was awesome. So I think the biggest thing I learned out there was definitely Coach Roberts' base running. We practiced base running every day, and it was just really cool to get taught by him by base running, because his son was so good at it. So yeah, that's
all right. Thank you to Coach Neu, Jaron, and PJ, and good luck to the Golden Bears as they open the 2025 season with a 4-game series against Nevada.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.